Hey guys, it's me, Seren, back with another video. So I got off from work early today, so I was able to come home and record this video and get it up super fast. For any of you that I know follow me on Twitter, and y'all probably gonna be like, yo, we were just having this conversation. How the fuck is this video up so fast? That's how. So whoop whoop, I was able to get off early and come home and do this video. This video is gonna be about why I hate Adele, I don't really know how you pronounce her name. I'm gonna most likely be pronouncing it as Adele throughout this video, so please let me know if I'm pronouncing it wrong. But yeah, so why I hate Adele. So I had tweeted. So okay, unless you've been living under a rock, you've probably heard that after a long break, a long hiatus, where she got married and had a baby and got like vocal throat surgery and a whole bunch of stuff happened. This week, Adele released some new music, some snippets, and I think a full song and a video. And people have been going batshit crazy. People have been losing their minds, talking about the Queen is back and this and that, and trying to come for Beyonce and doing a whole bunch of unnecessary shit. And y'all know I'm not even a Beyonce fan like that, but what does Beyonce have to do with Adele? I don't know. And so I had tweeted earlier, whispers, I hate Adele. And a lot of people was like, oh, why do you hate Adele and this and that? Because I know a lot of people kind of like love her to death. And I have never been a fan of Adele. I listened to her first two albums. My mom really likes her. My mom sent me an email this morning to be like, oh, Adele has new music. My mom is also a Sam Smith fan and Ed Sheeran fan. I don't care for none of them. I listened to her first two albums. Like, I don't hate her personally, but I hate her music, and that's just like my own taste. I feel like she has a really nice voice, but her music is extremely overproduced. Like, her music is really produced to within an inch of its fucking life. Like, a lot of times when I'm listening to her music, I just feel like I hear production. Like, I don't really hear a voice. I don't really feel anything. I don't really hear any emotion. I just hear production beating me over the head. Me personally, like, I just hate her music. That's my own taste. But on a bigger scale, which is kind of be more what this video is about, I hate what Adele and Ed Sheeran and Sam Smith, I hate what they represent. I hate what they represent. And that's nothing personal against them as artists, but I hate what they represent. And what I mean when I say that is that I dislike the system that Adele and these other artists represent, which is a system that rewards white people for doing kind of stereotypically black things, and black sounding music and wearing their hair in black hairstyles, and when they dress up in certain styles that have been kind of floating around in the black community for years and they heralded as wonderful and amazing. It's this idea of like black people don't exist until a white person kind of comes along and validates us, Like, to me, Adele is the personification of love black culture, hate black people. And we got into this really interesting kind of conversation about it on Twitter. And the super cool guy that I follow, Civil Justice, please go follow him. I will include a link to his Twitter page in the description box. He kind of fired off these really great tweets that really got to the meat of the issue. So I'm going to read you guys the tweets, and I'm going to kind of keep going. He said, whenever white people do things influenced by black culture, they stand out. Not necessarily because they're better, but because they are white. People are fascinated by and love white people commodifying black culture. Even go back to the Harlem Renaissance and you'll see it. Not saying that particular white artists aren't talented, but you could find tons of black artists who do it better and don't get the credit. It's rooted in anti-blackness. People love black culture so long as black people aren't the ones doing it. Like I said, love black culture, hate black people. And then he goes, I'm not taking anything away from people's talents, but let's not act like when a white person has soul, he put it in quotes, people don't lose their shit. You can be mediocre and stand out if you're white and commodify black culture, where black people feel the burden of being standouts in their own lane. And someone said, they kind of reply like, Adele is not mediocre, she's very talented, but what is mediocre is worshiping her and also dismissing any black artist just to praise her. I love those tweets. They were great tweets. Like I said, they really kind of got to the heart of the issue, because I was reading those tweets and I felt like that's it, like that's the thing. Like, Adele is very talented. Like, her music isn't my cup of tea, but You know, not to take anything away from her, she has a beautiful voice. I would not call her voice mediocre by any means. But I will say that it's interesting to think about, would she be as big as she is now if she were doing a different type of music? That's the question to really think about, you know? Like Amethyst Kelly, aka the Australian Voldemort, aka Outback Jane, aka the Bigfoot Wallaby, aka the Orgirl Marsupial, aka you know who I'm talking about if you've been watching my channel for a while. You know, when Amethyst Kelly first came out, she was a pop artist. A lot of people don't know this, but some gossip site like uncovered her initial demo and her initial video, which was like a cute little Britney Spears inspired womanizer, womanizer. It was like that type of song. I actually thought it was cute. Like, I fucked with it. Like, I might have liked her if she stayed in that lane because I personally like pop music, you know, but she wasn't getting enough buzz because there's a million white pop girls out right now, you know, and Taylor Swift is kind of killing that game. But there was a lane they felt like for a white female rapper, so they rebranded her as this, like, you know, white rap, gutter rap, first things first, I'm the realest. And it was like, boom, instant #1 single, right? And that's the way a lot of this works, you know? It's like, how far again, now Amethyst is not fucking talented, but not to say that like Adele isn't talented or Ed Sheeran isn't talented or Sam Smith isn't talented, but it's like, would they be as big as they are and getting all these awards and all these accolades if they were not in a lane that you generally don't see white people in, right? Like, Adele is talented. She has a beautiful voice, but that being said, there are lots of people out there with beautiful voices, and it is worth wondering if Adele would be where she is if she were not a blue-eyed soul artist. She's marketed and packaged as soul, and she sings these powerhouse ballads, and people, black and white, love it. They love it. They eat it up, you know? They love that she's an anomaly, aka a white girl that can blow. Meanwhile, a black girl that can blow does not get that privilege of being special and unique just because of the color of her skin and what she is doing, right? It doesn't work both ways. Black people, we love it when white people excel in our culture. White people hate it when we try to excel in their culture. Serena Williams is a prime example of this. We love fucking Birdman, fucking Chris Anderson, and, you know, tall white boys that could jump and could dunk, and, you know, white boys that could dance and like, we love it. Oh, we go crazy. We eat it up. But when you have someone like Serena Williams, who is a beast in tennis, which is a predominantly white sport, oh, white people don't like that. Oh, they don't want to give her props. They don't want to give her accolades. They don't want to give her endorsement money. They don't want to pay her as much as other tennis stars. They want to say racist shit to her. You know, they want to keep us out of their world. But we are so welcoming and inviting. We want white people in our world. We do everything to support and welcome white people in our spaces. And the reason why we do that is because we want that white validation, right? It's all about internalized anti-blackness. We uplift them over our own people as special because a lot of us really need white people to be involved in our culture in order to feel like our culture has merit, which is why you have people say, it's not cultural appropriation, you should be flattered, which immediately kind of sets up this idea where white people are better than us and we should be flattered that they're, you know, coming down to hang out with the peasants, you know? Like, I always talk about Toni Morrison. Toni Morrison has that quote, you know, you have these ideas and you construct these worlds in your own mind where, you know, a white person says, you don't have any culture, so you spend 20 years trying to prove to them that you do. A white person says, you don't have any language, so you spend 20 years trying to prove to them that you do. And then once they give you that validation, once they say, you know what, you do have a culture, you do have a language, I'm going to take it and I'm going to use it, you feel validated. Like, yes, the white man smiled upon me and white Jesus touched my head, you know? Like, we want that validation so bad, so bad. And the crazy part about it is, like I said in my Shea Moisture video, Black people are core consumers. We run social media, you know, we consume the most TV, we watch the most movies, you know, we push music, we push culture, we push American culture, and we're the ones that cause these artists to blow up, you know, and we're the ones that cause these images to go viral, you know. The Kardashians are not popping because of white people. They're popping because black people tune in every week and watch their show and buy their app and, you know, buy their makeup and do Kardashian inspired makeup tutorials. You know, like, white people hate the Kardashians. E News has to turn off their comments whenever they post about the Kardashians because the comments are so bad, right? Like, their key demographic for their show, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, is women of color aged 18 to 35. Like, yes, I looked it up, you know? Like, fucking white dude doing the Kappa shimmy went viral because black people posted that shit on World Star talking about, yes, white boy getting it, you know? Like, we love Adele because it's like, yes, white girl can blow, you know? Like, we love white people doing our shit. We love it. We live for it. We live for that white validation, you know? Like, and then we, like, boost them up, and then white people, are they going to support their own? You know, kind of like what I talked about in my integration video. We support them, and they support them. So they blow the fuck up, right? Like, we want that white validation so bad, and we literally boost up white people over our own people that are doing the exact same thing. And it's just really interesting to think about where some of these white artists would be if they were not in a certain lane, you know? It's interesting. And someone wrote me and said, I call it OMG Becky Can syndrome. OMG Becky can sing like us, dance like us, yada yada. And that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. You know, someone else said, even when they're not particularly good, they receive the support, but Tinashe and them get left to the wayside is bull. Exactly. It's like they get left to the wayside. The black artists get left to the wayside because they're just being normal black. They're not like special white snowflakes flattering us by being in our lane, you know? And I have to say, it does blow me a little that y'all stand for Blue Eyed Soul so hard, but girls like Tink or Kalela, who I just recently fucking discovered my damn self and got into, you know, they can't get a radio hit to save their lives, you know? So it is kind of like a blower, you know? Like, people will say, like, oh, Adele is, like, single-handedly saving R&B, single-handedly saving soul, and why don't black people do soul and R&B? And it's like, well, there's a lot of black people doing it, but they can't get put on because they're black. They're doing something quote-unquote normal. And they also can't get put on in another lane because white people don't want them in that lane, you know? They're getting kept out. So it is kind of a bummer, but I do know that y'all gonna like what y'all like, you know, I know, but it's like, just don't complain about R&B, black soul music, you know, being dead, and all niggas wanna do is pow pow, you know, shoot 'em up, gangbanger music, when that's like all that gets supported, you know, like, y'all only fuck with white artists because you're living for that white validation. Y'all don't fuck with black artists that's like doing the same thing, you know? So I just wanted to make this video about why I don't fuck with her, because I don't fuck with her, I don't fuck with Ed Sheeran, I don't fuck with Sam Smith, I don't fuck with none of them. And people always look at me like, oh my god, you're crazy. You don't like Ed Sheeran, you don't like Sam Smith, you don't like Adele. I also feel like Adele's music is like really, really, really like, it's too metaphorical for me. Like, what does set fire to the rain mean? I'm just not a fan. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Food for thought as always. Really glad I was able to get this video up so quick. And see you guys next time. Peace.